The first tool is learn to laugh at yourself and breathe. Laughing at ourselves is probably the highest form of humor. It tells everybody, I'm not perfect. I'm just like you. I'm imperfect, and I accept myself, and you, and you, and you. It doesn't mean you put yourself down. It means you take your job seriously, but you take yourself lightly. I'll give you an example of how it happened in my life. I was a young man growing up in the United States, and I had a dream. I wanted to be a radio and television announcer. You know what that is? That's the one who sits in front of the TV at night and gives the news. Oh, that was my dream. So I went to a broadcasting school, and they taught us how to speak like an American announcer. And all day long you had to practice saying something like, "And now, back to our show, the flying chicken." And you get into this voice, and you can't get out. You know, you practice so much. I go to a party. "Hello, John. How are you? How's your family?" Worst case scenario, I go home. I say to my wife, "Hello, darling. How about a hug?" It's getting ridiculous. Finally got a job at WAPI TV, Channel 13, Birmingham, Alabama. Anybody who doesn't know where Birmingham is, you know where it is. It's in the south of the United States. It's, you know, there's Florida, and then you have Georgia, Alabama, I think it's Mississippi, and then after that Louisiana, and then you go to hell. And I remember sitting in front of the camera 8 o'clock in the evening. I was so happy and so excited to give my first night, to give the news. And so that you're sitting in the studio, it's 8 o'clock, and the lights come down in the studio, and a light goes up on the camera, a red light. And then there's this woman with earphones, and she goes like this to me, and that means that you're on the air, and I hear the broadcasting music, da 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 da. And I look into the camera and I say with a big smile, "Good evening," and you know the voice. "And here is the news, read to you by Lenny Ravich, Washington." And I would give the news. I was so happy. Next day I got to work. Surprise! I'm getting letters, mail, telephone calls. People want to speak to Leonard Garbage. I said, "Lenny Ravich, they're hearing garbage." I'm getting mail. People want to write to Leonard Rubbish. Rabbit. I even got one mail, Ravish, R-A-V-I-S-H. I looked it up. It means to rape and pillage. I'm innocent of all wrongdoing. Now you talk about cortisol levels. I'm humiliated. I can't even go to the supermarket now. Okay, I'm really suffering from cortisol. How do I know? Headache. I can't sleep at night. That's what cortisol will do to you. It keeps you up. Only around like 3:30 in the morning, I came with an answer that made me relax. I said, "Okay, I got to change my name." I'll keep the Leonard part. I like Leonard, but I got to change the garbage part. You know. So I thought of something with an R. So I thought maybe Reynolds, Leonard Reynolds. Nah, that sounds too Irish with this nose. Okay, Leonard Roberts. Suddenly, about 4:30 in the morning, I get it. Leonard Raymond. Raymond, that's so cool. What's your name? Leonard Raymond? So I go to the studio the next day, and I say, "I'm not Lenny Ravich anymore, I'm Leonard Raymond." Everybody looked up to the heavens and said, "Thank God." Got on the show. Okay, now it's 8 o'clock. Lights come down in the studio. Light comes up on the camera. Woman with earphones goes like this to me, and I hear in the background, da 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 da. And it happened exactly like this. I looked into the camera, and with my broadcasting voice, I said, "Good evening. And here is the news, read to you by Leonard I became the first radio and television announcer in the history of the United States to forget his name during a live broadcast. But since it is airtime, you have to be very, very spontaneous. You can't wait, it's a lot of money. So I looked at the camera and I said, I forgot my name, but here's the news. Washington. And I went on to give the news. So wait a minute, we're laughing. But are you laughing at me? No, we're laughing together. Okay, you're laughing with me. When you laugh at yourself, you suddenly bring people closer to you. You know the word intimacy? This is my interpretation of intimacy, into-me-see.